World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where your host, the dressed down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery, is coming to you live from my hometown of Yonkers, New York. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show and welcome to week 2 of our financial literacy. I got a story to tell series. We are in it. We are full in it. It is Financial Literacy Month, and I hope everybody is taking care of those household understandings of how you're going to run that household. Also, today is that last day, no matter where you are in the country. It is tax day today at, I believe, 12 midnight. They have to be filed or you have to pay what you need to pay or owe, and you can also ask for an extension. All right. So today is the last day. This is April 15th, the last day that you can do that. Again, my name is Tyrone Glover. And as you can see, I am a credit recovery expert. I'm someone who understands how to help you navigate that credit space to help you get to where you need to be, which is leverage your score and take full advantage of the leverage that you bring when it comes to that credit understanding. And today we're going to dive into a little bit of how that all looks, how it works, how you can, in these trying times, in these times where we have somebody who is in that White House doing whatever they want to do, you need to make sure that you're leveraging your score. All right. We are here currently live on Soul City Network. You can see Soul City programs are available nationally on Comcast, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. So no matter where you are, no matter what device you have, no matter what programming you use, look us up, find us in those various or on those various platforms and indulge. If you have questions, please do not hesitate as we are going through the broadcast to type your questions in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to. But I want to welcome you. I want to thank you. And as always, hashtag make time. For those of you who make time to come to the program, I want to thank you. For those of you who also go to the variety of different other social media platforms to also get this information, I want to thank you as well. But nevertheless, as I said, you have to decide. How are you running that household? How are you managing the understandings of being in charge? And some of us now we're really not in charge. We're letting things escape. We're letting things run amok. We're letting things be done in a manner in which we're not controlling them. So I have to ask all of you, every single last one of you, what type of a future do you want? All right, think about that while we go through the program. What type of a financial future do you want? Are you setting it up for success, or are you setting it up for failure, or have you not really even decided how you want to set it up? Well, I can tell you right now, if you're not in front of these things already, then you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And as African Americans, as Hispanics, as individuals who understand, we need to take back the control, because you're already seeing there's a lot of things going on right around you right now that seem to be out of control. And I want you back in control of your resources and how things work. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is credit and your consumer rights. What every consumer should know about their credit. Every consumer, there's going to be a couple of laws that we're going to be tapping into. There's going to be a couple of different rules and regulations that we're going to also tap into. But nevertheless, we're going to put you on a platform that's going to help you with navigating these spaces more successfully. And as you can see it here, it says our recovery depends on what we do now. What we do now, we as a public. If you want to have what you want to have, then you're going to have to steer it, drive it, rudder it, however that might be, fly it, whatever one can use to get you to understanding that you're going to have to be in control of it. Because if you are leaving it in the hands of others, I'm already going to tell you that's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Leaving it in the hands. If you have watched your 401k, your 304b, your Roth IRA, your CDs, whatever investment vehicles that you have had, if you've been watching them take a nosedive, then that means you've probably allowed for somebody else to have control over your situation. And I would strongly have to say that's not what you should be doing. Okay? That's not what you should be doing. Get in front of your situations now. Do it now. 2025 could be the year of all years for every single person who wants to have full control over their money. All right? So credit and your consumer rights. What every consumer must know. Your credit is more than a number. It is your financial reputation. It's just that simple. It's who you are. It's who people see you on paper. Understanding your credit and your rights that protect you is essential to building a secure and empowered financial future. Secured, empowered. These words need to become the norms in our households. Secured and empowered. I want to secure so that I'm empowered to move forward in the direction in which I want to. And also, this is not about just holding it on for yourself. This is about equally sharing that information within those four walls. Because if you do that, it outlives and outlasts you. And this is what these conversations are all about. It's not just for you to get it, hold on to it, and then, oh, it's all mine. No, this is for you to get it, share it, and hopefully that will expand within our communities. Let's stop thinking that these are isolated situations only for us. Every single person that I know has had some form of a credit challenge. And the minimal amount of individuals that I also equally know who haven't had any, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and give them that celebration right now. We're going to already congratulate our 750s and our 800s and our 850s. And 850s is the highest you can go. But we're going to congratulate you. We're going to literally tell you, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And for those of you who are not there yet, well, what do you have to do? What is it that you're going to need for me to help you get to that next level? Whether you're applying for a loan, renting an apartment, or even getting a job, your credit report can open and close doors. As a consumer, you are protected by federal laws that give you the right to, again, access and review your credit reports. Now, because of how the credit reporting agencies and annual credit report are operating, they're giving you a weekly. You can get a weekly checkup from the neck up. Thank you, Dr. B. And I'll be talking about her in just a few minutes. But thank you. You can now get your credit report weekly so you can stay on top of it. Every single week, you can have a copy of your credit report. So there's no reason why you should be finding yourselves or seeing yourselves in situations that you probably think that are unresolvable. I had a client today, and this is the number one reason why. I actually had a client yesterday who reached out to me, and we've been working on his situation. And it's been a beautiful collaboration between what he knows, what I know, and whether or not he's going to need legal advice or whether or not he can do it on his own. Everything that I'm telling you here, ladies and gentlemen, you can do on your own. Now, would I said for no reason whatsoever, oh, don't get legal? No, always. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm going to always steer you towards a financial advisor. I'm going to always steer you towards, I'm not a legal counsel, I'm always going to steer you towards legal representation. But a lot of times we go to these entities and we do not have the proper question. So they start selling us a whole bunch of googly goop that we don't understand. And we just, as most of the students, sorry to have to put you in that category, But most of us go, yeah, okay, sure, yep, yep. No, stop doing that. If there's something that you do not understand and there's something that you need someone to clarify, say, hold on 1 second. Can you explain that to me as if I was 4 years old? And get the individual who's using all of these fantastic acronyms and maybe these wonderful, beautiful Donald Trump words. Have them slow that down and have them completely explain it to you so that you can walk away and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm on point with that. And then always do your research. All right. Don't just take everyone's word, even mine, as right as I am. And I'm going to tell you, 98, I'm going to go as high as that. 98% of the information that I'm giving you, I can guarantee it that you can go back and you can check it. And guess what? You'll be, oh, he was right. He was right. He was right. I go back and forth with lawyers. I go back and forth with businesses. I go back and forth with consumers. And it's not about being right. It's about making sure that the information that we're both getting is right. Just that simple. It's not about competing with anyone when it comes to how to make sure that you're going to be secured and you're going to be protected for your household. Not for my household, but for your household. And never think that anyone out there is going to give you that information and not charge you for it. Well, except for myself. Right here, if you want my PowerPoints, if you want anything, I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to provide you with what you need so that you can ask that right question. Because today, we're giving our money to individuals, and what are we getting back in return? Think about that for a minute while I keep going here. All right, so it allows for you to dispute inaccurate and outdated information, dispute and challenge, 2 different words. And I want you to start challenging. I keep the dispute word in there because it's important for you to understand. A dispute basically means you did something and now you're trying to kind of get yourself out of it. A challenge means is that you're not 100% on board with the information. All right. So this is one thing that I think that they did strategically, as they do everything. They put words into content. And we may not understand the concept in which it's being applied. So again, be careful when you are disputing something. That means that you did it and you might not be okay with what you did. But when you're challenging something, that means you're challenging the validity of that information that's now representing or supposedly representing you. So limit who can see your credit information. Not everybody should. And according to our constitutional understanding, your credit report shouldn't even be used in the manner in which it is being used. That's just me again. Seek corrections or removals of unverified data. If you're not checking, how do you know if something's verified? If you're not checking it on a regular basis, how do you know if it's you? How do you know what is inside your credit report is actually you unless you check it? And be protected from unfair credit practices. So under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is the FCRA, and the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, which is the FDCPA, you have the legal authority to take control of your credit narrative. Again, think about that. You have the legal authority. Individuals will do whatever they want to do if you do not stand up for yourself. So you got to think about that for a minute, all right? Think about it and think, wow, really? I have the legal authority? Yes, you have. You have to stand up to protect your name. If you don't do it, trust me, they will take advantage of you, as they have been. And the narrative is, well, if you don't do your part, they're not going to do it for you. But rights only matter when you know them. And you what? You use them. So use them to your full advantage. This is your call to action. So get informed, get empowered, get what you deserve. All right. Understand your credit, and assessing your consumer rights isn't just smart, it's necessary. So to take control of your financial matters, key areas you must monitor and master. Key areas in which you, the consumer, must monitor and must master. Understand your credit report. Your credit report is a financial representation. Reviewing it regularly to ensure accuracy, spot identity theft, and correct outdated or incorrect information before it harms your future opportunities. And we're seeing this all the time. And I'm almost certain that with the individual occupying that White House, I'm almost certain we're probably going to see even more, what's an appropriate word to use? We're probably going to see more discomfort in the upcoming months. I'm hoping that we don't, but hey, we know the man. We know the character of the man. So we shouldn't be thinking anything different that all of a sudden he's going to change because of what? He's not. He is what he is. And those of us who understand that, it's now time for you to be making the necessary adjustments. Because if you do, I'm telling you, he's not going to be president forever. He's definitely not going to be a king, but he's not going to be president forever. And when things do come back to that normal understanding of how we had previously operated prior to, and then with the slight bit of normacy under the Biden administration, and now back into this mass chaos, trust me when I tell you, we're going to get back there. And if you're doing what you need to be doing in lieu of what he's doing, I'm telling you, trust me when I tell you, you're going to find yourself in a much better position. You just got to get in front of the things that you need to get in front of. And that's with regularly checking. That one thing that predators use is the information that somebody else is providing. You're not providing that information. Somebody else. Now, again, when I say you're not providing it, you're doing your normal understanding of commercing, whether it be through credit products or whether it be through a loan or whether it be through whatever the variety of different methods are out there that are allowing individuals to put information into your credit profile. So you are participating, but it's not you directly adding that information to your credit profile. So that's why it's super important that you're checking it on a regular basis. Navigating credit applications wisely, right? Every credit application you submit has lasting consequences. Learn how to strategically apply for credit, avoid unnecessary inquiries, and protect your credit worthiness. Super, super key information. And then also monitoring, billing, and electronic funds transfers. These are the things that equally, if they're making mistakes, and these are now algorithms and AI, they're not people any longer. Okay, for businesses for you to even think that you have somebody managing your account. That's why I think it's important for us to now start pushing back on banks, financial institutions, these entities that believe, or we believe we have a manager managing it. You don't have a manager. You have an individual who is titled as a manager, but do you think they're managing your account? I keep asking the banks and all financial institutions, well, could you direct me to the person who is managing my account? Oh, there is no person managing your account. Well, why am I getting a maintenance fee if nobody's doing the actual job? So what are we paying for? It's really important to start asking these questions. You've watched it. Those of you who have watched it as I've watched it, you've watched since the inauguration, you've watched your 401k and all of your investment opportunities lose money. The numbers aren't officially out, but we're talking somewhere around $11 trillion since the inauguration. You've lost. And you keep losing, as I was just clarifying to one of my youth advocates, that if you think about the dollar's not a dollar anymore. The dollar's, if at all, 75 cents, but it might be even lower than that. But let's just keep it at 75 cents. So the dollar's not a dollar. What you used to get for that dollar, now it's 75 cents. All right, so that 75 cents is what the dollar's now worth. And then go shopping. Obviously, everything is now going through the roof, so that means that dollar is going to be even less than that. That's the dollar that I'm talking about that you get from your employer. And even that dollar that you get from your employer has been taxed heavily. So again, we are constantly in a lose situation. When do we start gaining? Well, that gaining is going to have to come through what you do and what you start learning and applying and becoming skillful at, as well as monitor and master. You do that, you're going to be good. All right, so stay vigilant. Review your credit cards and bank statements to detect errors, which there are plenty of, unauthorized charges, which there are plenty of, and signs of fraud, which there are plenty of. Awareness is your first line of defense. And when you are in front of these things, guess what happens? You're able to accurately address them as they occur versus seeing them after they have become a problem. And I have three items that I always, or three ways of identifying certain things. It's a issue at first, it's a concern at first, then it becomes an issue, then it turns into a problem. Let's address these as they are concerns. Okay, and you can switch up the concern and issue as to your liking. But I like to say it's a concern first. I'm very much concerned. It's an issue when I start seeing that there's concern, and I have addressed it with those entities and they haven't really responded. So now it's an issue. And then after a certain period of time, when I'm still in that email chain or I'm still with the unresolved item, then it's now a problem because it's not being addressed in the manner in which I, the consumer, would like it to be addressed. All of these other entities out there, they can keep trying to say this and say that and whatever. This is why we are where we are, because we've allowed for these entities to dictate the narrative. Not anymore. Not anymore. And I'm hoping that those of you who are watching today really start to realize and understand that. They can't keep dictating the narrative. It's up to you to now put them in their places and spaces and let them know, nope, not with us any longer. And once we do that, guess what happens? We regain the control. And that's ultimately what we always want. We want the control. That's it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. We want the control over our financial understanding. That's not challenging, nor is it difficult. All right. So here's another key area that I want you to also managing debt and debt collectors. Know your rights and responsibilities, whether you're repaying debt or dealing with collectors. Understanding the rules can protect your peace of mind and your pocket. All right? Understanding the rules, because there are rules and there are laws. And those rules and laws, they're intertwining. And as long as you understand your rights, you have them. As long as you understand what they cannot do to you, they are doing anyway, then you get to challenge those understandings. Challenge, not dispute. We're going to remove that word because dispute, as I just told you, that's a strategically designed word to get you to start filing these, and again, they can say frivolous or whatever, but it's a major problem because of the word itself. All right. And once we start thinking more strategically about it, we're able to navigate that space more effectively. And then solving credit problems with confidence. Don't do it with the, well, I'm not sure. No, do it with the, yes, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll see you in court should it have to go down that road. It's just that simple. Those are the ways in which we should be navigating these conversations with individuals who don't know. And I'm sorry to have to say this to any customer service agent out there residing in whatever space that they're residing in. A lot of them do not know what they're talking about. They do not. They're just selling you a script that they have to follow. They haven't done any of their investigatory understandings of what they're doing for that employer, nor do they even challenge the employers, because the employers are now in a position where, oh, what? We're working in at-will types of situations. You can be fired at will. That's another threatening position that we have somehow found ourselves. We don't have those normal dignities of work protections that used to be there. We can talk about that in a whole nother capacity at another time frame, but same thing applies. If someone doesn't know what they're talking about and you do, well, you might have to be a little bit more assertive to say, hey, hold on here for a second. And that's the first thing that I do when I'm asking somebody for information that they should know. Can you tell me a little bit about what your understanding is? And if they can't give me enough that satisfies me, I'm not going to spend 25 minutes, 30 minutes going back and forth with somebody. No. Can I get a supervisor, please? And I'll ask that supervisor the exact same thing. Because I'm telling you right now, if we could speak to the CEOs of these companies, a lot of our situations would get resolved just like that. Just like that. The CEOs understand they don't want to go do the back and forth. They want to see, how can we resolve it? How can we get you back on the straight and narrow? And let's keep it moving. And if there is a situation that does arise, CEOs do the exact same thing. They're dealing with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients all day long. They don't want the client to be dealing with somebody that has been given the authority to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So again, it goes back to this whole understanding. When you're on the phone with somebody and they're not doing what you need to do, you send that email, and so surprisingly that you get a response back from that email that's always favorable. Why? Because it hits that corporate office. It hits that direct impact. And I'm not saying do things in a frivolous manner. No, do things that are in the manner of bettering relationships versus worsening the relationships. And unfortunately, a lot of these customer service agents, they worsen the situation because they internalize, they make it about them. It's not about them. And we have to be better at also not inciting or making a situation worse by using profanity or using other words that go against the business dynamic we should be working in. All right. So again, it's a challenge for you can overcome. Excuse me. Bad credit isn't a life sentence. It's a challenge you can overcome. Equip yourself with tools to dispute inaccuracies. Remember what I told you? I use that word specifically so that you understand that disputing something that you did could be seen as fraud. So be careful in the manner in which you dispute items. So you want to challenge the validity, right? Challenge the validity of the accuracy of an item. Right? Negotiate settlements. I think we forgot that part. You're a business. Your household is a business. And if you're not negotiating, no matter what they say, okay, no matter what they go into court and say to a judge, hey, Your Honor, they didn't want to take my payment. What do you think that court's going to say? They're going to look over at the other party and go, excuse me? So the individual was offering you something and you were just, nope, I don't want that. Watch that get thrown out very, 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 very quick. Okay? Do not put yourself in a situation where the opposite, no matter if you borrowed or if you're in the process of maybe thinking about borrowing, or if you've gotten behind, do not let an entity try to dictate what they negotiate all the time. They negotiate all the time. Stop putting yourself in a situation where you believe you have no negotiating powers. Maybe you might not have the negotiation skills, but you have negotiation power. All right. Businesses negotiate all the time for better interest rates, for better terms and conditions, for better. Consumers, start understanding you are a business and start equally negotiating better terms, conditions, interest rates, whatever it may be. All right. And rebuild your financial foundation. It's just that simple. It's not that hard. It's not that challenging. But they have us believing that it's that hard and it is that challenging. It is not. So understand your credit rights. What every consumer needs to know. The Federal Trade Commission, which is the FTC, is the nation's watchdog for enforcing credit laws that safeguard your right to access, use, and manage credit responsibly. While these laws do not guarantee approval for credit, they do ensure that every consumer is treated fairly and equally in this process. Fairly and equally. You may not understand the word fair. I like to say equitably. You may not understand the word equal, but nevertheless, they can't treat this one this way, this one that way, this one this way. No, it all has to be equitable, fair, and equal across the process. All right, these protections require lenders and credit-related businesses to provide transparent, non-discriminatory access to credit, and to respond promptly and fairly when errors occur. Promptly and fairly. If you have a challenge and that challenge is not being done in the manner in which the law states after a certain period of time, you can take legal actions. And I'm requiring and I'm begging, ain't too proud to beg, begging all of you, when it gets down to that critical point where you have done everything that you can within the legal understanding of doing it in the manner in which we're supposed to. Challenge. You see, I said that 4 times, 4 challenges, and then take it to that next step. Sue. Why are we so afraid to take these institutions that have been robbing and stealing and plundering from us for decades and centuries? Why are we so afraid to sue? I can't wait for the biggest lawsuit to come up when it comes to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. These are credit reporting agencies. And we should be looking for an attorney or attorneys that would do us that solid. I got hundreds of consumers that have been levied upon in so many different varieties of discriminatory and untransparent, and I just made up a word there, but non-transparent, see, when it comes to how they have been giving us our credit information. But the things that they do and get away with is staggering and stunning. For someone who's been doing this for quite some time now, taken back. But the only reason why I'm not able to get that full impact that I do, but for my consumers who do go through the process, they're definitely opening some eyes. And now that I've been doing it for quite some time, I'm just looking for a legal firm that would more or less say, hey, you know what? Yes, we can rock with you. We can work with you because what you're bringing to the table fits right up our alley, or even any nonprofit organization, which we are as well. So we're opening it up. We're opening it up. We're looking for partners. We're looking for individuals who really want to start making or giving consumers that power that they already possess, but they may need that legal aspect to reinforce it. So we got one agency out there, the Federal Trade Commission, that's willing to help out. Now, are you willing to step up to give them what they need to be able to take these entities to task? Today, we're breaking down the essential rights granted to you under these laws and sharing actionable strategies to help you resolve credit issues, protect your financial standing, and take control of your financial future. These conversations are based on just that alone. All right, so let's talk credit. Know your rights, protect your future. Did you know that the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, is in charge of making sure that the credit system treats you fairly? You do now. The FTC, again, enforces important laws that protect your rights to get, use, and manage credit. Now these laws do not promise, again, they do not promise that everyone will be approved for credit. So that means you have had to kept a great credit relationship with whomever you may have borrowed from. And even if you had some hiccups here or there, it's going to happen. Life is not always going to present the roses. And even if it does present you the roses, guess what they're also going to be filled with? Some thorns. All right. So don't think for a second that when you grab that bushel and you think, oh, it's going to be unscathed, you may walk away with a little bit of blood. Okay. But they do guarantee that you have a fair shot no matter your background. A fair shot no matter your background. Whether you're applying for a credit card, car loan, student loan, businesses must follow the rules and treat all consumers equally. And if there's even a mistake on your credit report, you have the legal right to dispute it and get it corrected. And if you do not dispute it, by the time you wait for, here's that opportunity for me now to look for an apartment, and you didn't check your credit report prior to, don't be surprised if you don't get it. Or you get it and they tell you you have to put down a bigger down payment. Don't be surprised that if you're looking for that car, same exact thing. You're looking for that job. Okay, even though that question should not be on the job application, it still is in some cases emerging. All right, that means that if you omit that question, don't be surprised if you don't get that job. And if you give them the access to, don't be surprised that if they say, well, you can't manage your money. And I had a client who will never mention any names, but I had a client who's going into a branch of the military, and it was quite disturbing to me that they were looking at such an in-depth issue, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But nevertheless, he worked diligently. I'm working diligently. We're coming to some resolution, and hopefully by the summertime, this young man is well on his way to doing what I've done as a veteran, which is serving this great nation of ours. So today, again, we'll break down what this law means for you, how to recognize unfair credit practices, and what steps you can take to fix credit problems and build a strong financial future. Your credit journey starts with knowledge, everyone. And knowledge is power. And I want to reiterate that, yes, this might look the same, but sometimes you need to hear something over and over and over and over and over again in order for it to solidify in that consciousness of, wow, these are the things that I need to be doing. These are the agencies that I need to be reaching out to. Your credit, as I said, and as the beginning of this conversation started, it's your representation. Oh my goodness, that's challenging. What is that again? Oh my God. It's your reputation. There we are. Woo, that was challenging. Those words are so difficult at some points. But nevertheless, it's who you are. That's what credit is. It's who you are. It's on paper saying this is who you are, and is it correct? Simple. Simple enough. All right, so here's one of the acts that I was referring to, the Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act. The FRCA serves as a vital safeguard for consumers, ensuring the accuracy, integrity, and privacy of the information maintained by the nation's credit reporting agencies. Those nation's credit reporting agencies are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. There are a couple of more out there. We'll talk about that in a later show because there are these new ones popping up. Now, how does somebody just pop up and say, oh, I'm going to get your information, I'm going to use it to against you, but to their advantage? That come on now. See, they're playing us for stupid now. That's the part that I don't get. So anybody can say, well, I want to be a reporting agency, and I'm going to get all your private information, and I'm going to use it against you for my benefit. That's some wild, off-the-wall, cuckoo stuff. All right, but nevertheless, the Fair Credit Billing Act, the FCBA, and the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, EFTA, are cornerstone consumer protection laws that safeguard your financial rights. Right? These federal statutes establish clear, enforceable procedures for identifying and correcting errors on credit card statements and electronic funds transfers accounts records. All right, it's not that hard. They're there. You need to know about these things that are there. Whether it's an unauthorized charge or a billing discrepancy or a fraudulent transaction, the FCBA and the EFTA provides a legal framework to dispute and resolve these issues effectively. So they're there. You just need to know about them. And you have to believe that when you do, in good faith, take these entities, guess what should happen? You should get the result that you're looking for with no ifs, ands, buts, no ups and downs, no And as I said before, the majority of customer service agents who understand these laws that you should know about is slim to none. Why is that? See if you can think about that for a minute. Yes, good one. Yes, because what has most of these companies done? They outsource. They send all of what used to be here in our United States of America. What do? They sent it overseas. That's why you barely ever get someone who is a customer service representative right here in this country. Yes, sad to have to say that as well. That's what outsourcing has done. Not only is the current occupant of that White House attempting to levy a tax on us with tariffs, you now see the impact of why we should have always kept manufacturing here in this country. Now you see why. Because when I was over in Germany back in the 80s, guess what they used to love to get? American goods. We had the best stuff. I'm going to say we had the best quality was good. Washable was good. You name it. It didn't take one wash and then your seam that should have been here was over here. These clothing that we get now, come on now. If you can get 4 wears out of it in 5 washes and it still looks good, you've gotten you something of quality. But now today, barely. But nevertheless, let's focus on the credit piece. So the FCBA and the EFTA provides a legal framework to dispute, challenge, and resolve these issues effectively, ensuring accuracy, accountability, and consumer empowerment in every transaction. Right? You have the laws behind you. You may not know how to apply them as effectively as we do. So that's why we should be collaborating. That's why we should be working more effectively together. You should be joining some of our workshops. You should be coming to the library or logging on as we're in the library, giving free information as we are today. You should be joining maybe even our Discord as we talk about other financial vehicles that are out there. We are not, and nor am I, and I will constantly keep having this understanding. I am not a financial provider, meaning I am not someone who dove and got the certifications. No, I am a regular individual that at some point may, but right now with the information that I have and that I know, it's going to benefit you. And as I said, anyone out there, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, any law firm, any agency that wants to challenge me, I'm open to that conversation. Always open, because you're going to end up finding out, wow, that brother's smart. As most individuals that I've already dealt with have all found out, that brother is smart. He knows what he's talking about. Knows what he's talking about. Because why? I've done my research. Why? Because I've helped out hundreds, if not thousands, of consumers. Since I got into this space, when I came back from Europe and tried to find out myself, why was I in a situation that I should have never been in? Because I was in a whole different country. I come back home and I find out that my stuff is all jacked up. And it wasn't even me who did it, because why? I was in a whole different country. But that's what happens when you are absent from, and then you start finding out, wow, these are the things that can literally happen to you. Yes. And they can happen to you because you're not actively participating in making sure that these things are being done accordingly. You don't need to know all of the laws. That's where we come in. You don't need to know all of the rights, because that's where we come in. But we're here to validate, to make sure that whatever it is that you are now challenging, yes, it fits within those guidelines. All right. So everybody doesn't need to be a lawyer. Everybody doesn't need to be a certified planner. Everybody doesn't need to be a credit expert. Everybody doesn't need to be a financial guru. You just need to know people who are in that particular space of where that concern for you may be. All right. So hopefully there's some questions popping up. And again, we take those questions on the variety of platforms that we have out there. If you are dropping a question into the YouTube space, please feel free to do that. If you're dropping some questions into another space, equally, we are looking forward to the questions. All right. So we're about a good 20 minutes out, and we just wanted to make sure that things are going accordingly. So don't hesitate on those questions if you have them. So here's another one. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, stands as another cornerstone of consumer protections designed to uphold the accuracy, integrity, and the confidentiality of personal data reported to the credit bureaus. Now, again, bureaus, FBI, again, these are entities that adopted the name bureau to give that, I'm so afraid of the government. No, they're not bureaus. These are for-profit entities. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, for-profit entities. Do not be afraid just because somebody has attached a bureau name to their so-called title. All right? Don't be afraid of anybody. All right? Who was that who said that? I think it was V for Vendetta, that the citizens should not be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of their citizens. Yes, and we need to start enforcing that a bit more when we start looking at what is currently going on. But nevertheless, confidentiality of personal data reported to credit bureaus or agencies. It empowers individuals with critical rights and holds credit reporting agencies accountable for maintaining fair and transparent practices. Right? We got to start requiring upon these entities, and they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. So your job is to make sure that you're following the protocol of. If you have a problem and it is now escalated to that problem, then you have to do your due diligence in making sure that you are recording those issues as you are addressing them. So it starts with a concern, moves to an issue, then it's now a problem. So now you basically have one more letter to get out there, and that should, if it hasn't already resolved it, then you have no other choice but to move forward. You got all the documents that you need. And trust me when I tell you, I'm able to help you navigate that court proceedings in such a manner that you probably wouldn't even need a law firm. Yes, I'm not taking anything away from lawyers. I know them to be, for the most part, some of them should be decent in all regards. But we're now seeing how an administration is using the law to circumvent the Constitution. And trust me when I tell you, a lot of these law firms have done the exact same thing when it comes to your rights and your protections. All right? They get paid. They get paid. That's all they care about is getting paid. And it's sad to have to put the care word into a practice that they should be doing automatically. They should always care. And unfortunately, they do not care because they're still getting paid. All right, so the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, which is the FDCPA, is a critical federal law designed to protect consumers from abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices. It happens all the time, all the time. Shameful, shameful, shameful. All right. It applies specifically to personal, family, and household debt, including obligations related to credit cards, auto loans, medical bills, and other consumer accounts. Under the FDCPA, debt collectors are strictly prohibited from using tactics that harass, mislead, and exploit individuals in the process of collecting a debt. Let's think about that one more time. Harass, mislead, exploit, all right? They use these tactics all the time. Thank God for some laws that have minimized some of it, but still, now that we have an individual in the White House who's doing whatever he can to show that you can still harass, mislead, and exploit, all with the understanding that this is somehow unprecedented. So what? So what? The law is the law. You want to change the law? Do it in the manner in which it's supposed to be done, constitutionally, all right, through Congress. But just to change the law all because you want to, because you're now a free leader of, no, come on, that doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Same thing applies when it comes to your credit. Doesn't work that way. That's why I tell you, don't dispute, challenge. And we'll give you more than enough legal grounds to challenge it. All right. So this law exists to ensure dignity, transparency, and fairness in all debt collection communications and activities. That's all it is. Use that and to your advantage. Use it because it's only going to help. Right? Your credit report, what it says, why it matters, and how to master it. Your credit report, the financial resume that follows you everywhere. Okay, I love this. This is so awesome. And I'm hoping that you're taking these notes. I'm hoping that you're jotting down a few of these key points here, because this is who you should be when it comes to who you are on paper. You should have the dignity. You should have the understanding of living a life that is secure, that allows for you to navigate and maneuver in these spaces and places where you are entitled to, and nothing should be holding you back, all because they do what they want to do, thinking that we're just their puppets. No, we're not. We're not. Cut them strings. Cut them now. Everybody, do me one of these. Thank you. Cut them strings. All right. So your credit is a powerful document that holds critical details about your financial life, including where you live, how consistently you pay your bills, and whether you face legal action such as lawsuits or bankruptcies. Credit reporting agencies compile and sell. Okay, they compile and sell, being that you never gave them any right to compile nor sell your information. Because I don't believe anybody in here did. And if you did, let me hear you. Yeah, crickets. All right, crickets. Nobody gave anyone permission to sell their information. That's why we have privacy acts. That's why we have laws to protect that from happening. And unfortunately, credit reporting agencies have taken upon themselves to say, well, we've been doing it, so why not continue to keep doing it? All right. So no one has given them the permission to compile and sell this information to lenders, issuers, employers, and landlords who use to determine whether to approve your application for credit, insurance, a job, or housing. Yeah, that's kind of a really sticky place to be when somebody gets to make a decision about you and they know nothing about you. They're just using information that somebody has compiled and someone then sells. And God knows with their algorithms what they have done with that information. So if you're not checking on a weekly basis, as you should, and it used to be you had to wait a whole year, and you see where that got us. We're here because of both parties, not one, both parties, because they've allowed for businesses and other entities to exploit. You want an understanding that's going to resolve some of this? Well, you now have to start pushing back. And if you don't like the pushback, well, then, folks, you're going to stay where you are. But those of us who push back, those of us who gain this knowledge, those of us who take the responsibilities of being the CEOs of that household serious, watch how you get things resolved. So in short, your credit report isn't just a file. It's your financial reputation. Ooh, I got it. Make sure it tells the right story. All right. It's your financial reputation. Make sure it tells the right story. All right. So here's a little bit more about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act promotes the accuracy and privacy of information in the files of the national credit reporting agencies. Use the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You have the right to receive a copy of your credit report. Each of the national credit reporting companies are, as I indicated earlier, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion is required to provide you with a free copy of your credit report at request once every 12 months. Now that used to be, and I wanted to keep that in there so I can tell you now, you can get it now weekly. Okay, weekly, annual credit report, weekly. Under federal law, you're entitled to a free report if a company takes adverse action against you. So if you got denied for whatever that may be, like denials for an application for credit, insurance, employment, and you've asked for your report within 60 days of receiving the notice of action. All right. The notice will give you the name, address, and phone number of the credit reporting company. And you are also entitled to one free report a year. And as I said, I left this in here purposely so that you now understand it's every week. Okay. And they have to abide by certain understandings if you are now challenging a particular decision that might have been adversely against you. All right. Important information about your credit application. Yes, when you fill out an application, there are certain decisions and certain understandings that must be applied. Here's one of them. Credit decisions must be fair. Discrimination is illegal. And we know companies will do things and put something else in there for a reason. That's why we're now asking for data of ethnicities, of states, of marginalized communities. We're asking for this data now. Have they really been serving individuals equally and not discriminating based off of a variety of different factors, which now can be seen as a discriminatory factor? Right? When receiving a credit application, creditors are strictly prohibited from engaging in discriminatory practice. Under the Equal Credit Opportunities Act, the ECOA, all consumers and businesses are entitled to fair and equal treatment in credit-related decisions, regardless of race, gender, age, religion, national origin, marital status, or receipt of public assistance. This vital protection applies to every entity that regularly extends credit, including banks, credit unions, credit card issuers, retail stores, finance companies, and even real estate brokers who arrange financing. Importantly, the ECOA safeguards not only individuals, but also businesses applying for credit. So each person involved in the credit decision-making process must comply with the federal laws. What? No exceptions. Okay? Simple, not that hard. And if you are still not sure, reach out to companies like ours, because we're here to reinforce what you may not know. So under the Equal Opportunities Act, you cannot be denied based on your what? Race, sex, marital status, religion, age, national origin, or receipt of public assistance. You have the right to have reasonable public assistance considered in the same manner as other income. If you are denied credit, you have a legal right to know why. Real simple. Very simple. Nothing to drive you crazy over. Okay? So stay informed. Stay protected. Master your credit, billing, and ETF statements. Why is it critical to review your credit, billing, and ETF statements regularly? Monitoring your credit, billing, and electronic transfer, EFT, my apologies, statement isn't just a good habit. It is a critical safeguard for financial health. These documents may contain errors, unauthorized charges, or fraudulent activity that can damage your credit profile, drain your accounts, and compromise your financial reputation. If you've noticed any discrepancies or suspicious transactions, take immediate actions. Don't wait. You get on the phone and then they try to frustrate you. Don't think that, oh, I'm just going to hang up or let them hang up, or you start using the words that are unchosen for the business environment, like profanity. Don't get upset. Don't get mad. Take a minute to calm yourself down. Don't let them push them buttons, because that's what they have been trained to do. Push them buttons. Let's get this person off the phone as quickly as possible. Let's make them believe that we're taking care of their situations when in all actuality they haven't. So contact the creditor or financial institution and file a formal dispute without delay. A formal challenge without delay. Time is of the essence. Okay? Thankfully, two key federal laws, the Fair Credit Billing Act, which is the FCBA, and the Electronic Transfer Act, which is the EFTA, protects your rights. You have rights, ladies and gentlemen. You have rights. Use them. They provide a structured process for investigating and correcting billing mistakes, unauthorized charges, or errors on your credit or EFT statements. Don't wait for the damage to be done. You have to check it on a regular basis. Review your statements carefully and act swiftly. Your financial future depends on it. All right, we're about 7 minutes out and still looking for that very first question. If you have one, please, by all means, share those questions. And as I said before, if you want these slides, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to send them over to you. All right, so change or charge or electronic transfers that you or anyone has authorized to use your account has made. All right, so change, charge, or electronic funds transfers that are incorrect. Incorrectly identifying or show the wrong date or account. Math errors. These are some of the things that you should be checking. Failure to post payment. There's a great one, and I've seen it on a multitude of credit reports. Failure to post payment. Credit or electronic funds transferred properly. Failure to send bills to the correct address. All right. Charges or electronic funds transfers for which you've asked for an explanation or written proof of purchase along with a claimed error or request for clarification. You have rights, ladies and gentlemen. You have rights, and this is one way of executing those rights. All right, so protect your financial health, monitor your statements, and act fast. Regularly reviewing your credit card billing and electronic funds transfer statements is essential to safeguarding your financial well-being. These documents may contain errors, unauthorized charges, and fraudulent activity that can harm your credit standing, all right, or drain your accounts if left unaddressed. If you've noticed a discrepancy or suspicious transaction, take immediate action. Contact the financial institution and file a formal dispute without delay. Your rights are protected under two critical consumer protection laws, the Fair Credit Billing Act and the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. Understanding and exercising your rights under these laws empower you to correct inaccuracies, prevent fraud, and maintain control over your financial future. And the biggest part of all of that is here. And maintain control over your financial future. Whose future is it? It's your future. Whose again? It's your future. One more time. It is your future. Oh, where did you come from? We can do that. My apologies. All right, so reclaiming your financial power, real situations to credit challenges. Your credit report, a powerful force that shapes your financial future. All right, your credit report doesn't just accept your ability to borrow money, affect your ability to borrow money. It influences your purchasing power. Okay, there are so many things that you have to be careful when it comes to that. Your chances of landing a job or landing a job, your eligibility to rent or buy a home, and even your access to affordable insurance. In today's economy, your credit history can either open doors or shut them. All right, so here are some things that could and should not Bankruptcies can report up to 10 years. Unpaid civil judgments may be reported for 7 years or until the statute of limitation expires. That was a good one. Whichever is longer. However, some information has no expiration dates. So criminal convictions, data tied to job applications with salaries over $75,000, information related to credit or life insurance applications over $150,000. The clock on 7-year reporting periods traditionally start from the date of the negative event occurred, not from when you reported or last updated. So that negative item has to be the date. Understanding these timelines is essential to protecting your financial reputation and planning your next steps strategically. Know your rights, check your credit regularly, and take control of your financial future. All right, we're about 2 minutes out. And as you can see, there's a little bit more that I would love to go over with you, but here's where I'm going to end this and then get you on your way. I hope you were able to take some of these notes and really dive into what credit is and how it's going to help you. All right. So finding trusted support, a guide to reputable credit counseling services. When facing financial challenges, connecting with a trusted credit counseling organization can be a game changer. Minute Credit Counseling offers services through local offices, online platforms, and by phone. However, when available, in-person consultation often provides the most comprehensive and personalized support. Nonprofit credit reporting or credit counseling programs are frequently operated by reputable institutions such as universities, military bases, credit unions, housing authorities, and local branches of the United Cooperative Extension Services. You can also explore resources and referrals through financial institutions, local consumer protection agencies, and trusted friends and families. What to expect from a reputable credit counseling service. Respected credit counseling agencies provide expert guidance in managing money management, reducing debt, and building a sustainable budget. These consumers are certified personalized trainers in consumer credit, debt management, and financial planning. During your initial session, which typically lasts about an hour, they will conduct a full assessment of your financial situation and help you develop a personalized action plan. Most programs also offer free educational resources, workshops, and ongoing support to ensure your long-term financial success. All right, so protect yourself from scams. All right, the FTC also has numbers and online situations that will help you with navigating fraudulent, deceptive, and unfair business practices. So I've given you a host of information, ladies and gentlemen, and you can still always find us. We have a mailing address, Leverage Credit Recovery, P.O. Box 101. My apologies, that P.O. Box is now changed to 555. You can reach us at sending us a text, 805-428-9424. Website is leveragecreditrecovery.com. That is Linktree, leveragecreditrecovery.com. And then our email is leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I always love these segments. I always love being able to do what I do on Tuesday. And that sun has hit me so hard in the face. Woo! I'm looking older. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to always thank you for making time. #make time. Be here. We're going to always be doing what we do to give you that understanding that you have control. Are you going to take it? And I hope you do. But thank you, as always, from me, my community, the Dress Down CEO. I want to thank you, and I wish you nothing but financial success as we navigate this financial literacy month of April. All the best to you and yours. And as always, America, be safe.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.